evening, good evening, good evening. I just got my second win just to come on and say hello to you all. So glad that you are joining me tonight. This is the third night in a row that I am coming to you with the Shadow into Shine series. And this is the third live. And of course, my dog would blow out my entire light. So now I have to fix that or sit in the dark. Um, this is just great. I'm glad he just took his big old self and unplugged my light. So as we continue until my light returns, I just want to say hello. And if you are watching, can you please say hello as well as you come in? Say hello. And we're going to do an exercise tonight. We're going to have some fun. So, what I want you to do is we never want to leave people out of the fun. So, if you can, anybody who you think would have fun with us tonight, I want you to tag them. I want you to text them. I want you to share this video with them and tell them to come on in. Come over, check us out, come hang with us for a little while. Come on over so we can have some fun together. So go ahead and do that for me. Like this video that you're watching right now. Give it a heart. I would love to see a heart. If not a heart, then go ahead and just give the like or just say that you care. Whatever it is, give me your reaction. Let me know you're here. Say hello. If you're in the room, say hello. And let me know where you're watching, whether you're on YouTube or if you are watching on Move Beyond the Blocks page. And also, we didn't go live over here. We didn't hit that button on Instagram. So let's do that. Let's say hello to the Instagram people. Hey, Instagram people. Hold on, I have to get some help here. Because my dog has just knocked my whole light out. and now I'm kind of in the dark, and we don't want that. We want to be able, so you can see me and I can see clearly. Say hello if you will. Give me a wave or something. I am going to have to step off camera just for a quick second. I have huge dogs, and he just walked past and completely threw me off. Hold one quick second. There is the light again. Whew, I'm telling you. This big old horse came past, and as you saw, he just knocked my lights out, and we went dark for a minute, but we're back on. So hello to everybody again. If you are watching, give me a hello, give me a wave, blow me a kiss, give me a heart, and definitely tell your people to get in here. We're about to have some fun tonight. So we started at 8:45, and I promise tonight, I know I say it every time, but I promise you tonight, listen, your girl has had a day. There has been a lot of deadlines for me this week, and some of them are in the 11th hour, but it's something to toggle some different projects. It's something to toggle, going back and forth into different worlds. I'm managing it very well. I'm proud of myself. However, your girl is running on fumes tonight. And so I promise this is not going to be a whole hour. I promise you that we won't be here long. So share. I'm going to try, because I know what's happened is that I've been, I go and I watch the replay, and I see that people are watching and commenting, and I cannot see them when they're doing it. So I want to head over here to Move Beyond the Blocks page to see if I can see the comments, because I want to say hi to you if you are watching from there. So I don't see that. So then let me also go to my own personal page and see who is watching with me over there. And I see we got some comments. So I'm going to say hey to everybody. Hey, Alicia August Wright, the Honest Hostess, ABA Studios, and everybody else. Hey, y'all. So listen, let me see who else is on Instagram. Lord, these things are moving so fast. You can't hardly see. I'm going to come back and say my hellos, because I can't see. The things are scrolling past me. Folks, is heart, and then I can't see which heart it is. I see my mentee is on IG. I see you, India. My nephew's on IG. Oh gosh, Voice of the Shy. Who is that? That's Kiana and WDB. That is Voice of the Shy. That is a news platform that we all need to get into. Write for it, share it out. But I said I wasn't gonna be on here long, so I'm gonna save my hellos to after. So here we go. I want to ask you a question, and some of y'all are gonna be able to say yes, emphatically yes. You're gonna be able to put it in there. You're gonna be so proud of yourself. I want to ask the question, and you saw what it was when you logged on. The question is, are you Googleable or are you invisible? Are you Googleable or invisible? Hey, Jamila, ladies of virtue. Hey. So, are you Googleable or invisible? That's the question I want to ask you. And I want you to go ahead right this moment, and I want you to Google yourself and tell me what comes up for you. Now, the question is, not only is something coming up, if you have anything that comes up, but what I want to know is you are not invisible 100%. What I want to know is, when something does come up, is it what you would want to come up? Is it what you would want the world to see of you? Is it something that you've created that is coming up? Is it content that you've created? Is it something that lands people back to your page, your website, your production, your content that you've created or curated? Is it coming up for you as something that, if I were to look for you, I could find you? And I know a lot of us say, yeah, well, I was on this news program and that's what comes up. Well, let me tell you about news programs and the links to news programs. Years ago, I was on this news program, and it was awesome. Ooh, look at that. I'm going to share with y'all what my mentee just posted, what she had. So I was on this news program. It was such a dope opportunity. This was like in 2000. Y'all, I'm going to be real, just real right now. If my dog takes this light out again, because he is laying his big self here, stretching and moving, if he takes this light out, we gone. I don't have it in me tonight to continue to keep fooling with him. So I'm telling y'all now. So let's just pray, put some good energy on Say Cool. Everybody say Cool's name where you are. Say Cool, lay still. He's looking at me like, what are you saying? Why are you saying my name? But I was on this news program. It is a dope story. I mean, oh my gosh. This is around about 2000 and I want to say 2011, 12-ish, right? Story is amazing. You hear me? Story is just the bomb. Everybody's texting me. You're on TV. My mama's calling. Everybody, you're on TV. Everybody's sharing it. So about a year goes by, and I had that in my link to say, hey, did you catch me on this program? Right? So when people click the link, they can see it. Well, lo and behold, some months went by, and I went back to that link, and that link was defunct. It wasn't working. There was no hint of me being on that program. What was shared was not on that program. The powerful work that crew came out and was able to capture was all gone. And I left my presence, my digital presence, in the hands of that outlet, right? Because I didn't create that content. It wasn't my own doing. It was somebody else's content. And so when I went to share it, when somebody wants to see what you've done, you're able to show them what you've done. When I went to share it, it was gone. And so when you're Googling yourself tonight, right now, I want you to see if what you come up with, if it's your own content, and if it's something that you control, if it's on your own space, the space that you've created, the space that you control, the space that you manage. Is it on your website? Are the links going back to your website? Are the links going back to your own platforms, whether that's a podcast, a YouTube channel, is that going back to, your thing that you do, right? And when you see those things, whatever it is it something that you would say that's my best? Like the top 5 things you see about yourself, are those the top 5 things that you would choose if you were talking to someone and they said, "Well, tell me about yourself"? Would the things that you Google right now, are those the top 5 things you would want someone to see if you told them who you are and they went to Google your name? Are they going to see the best that you have to offer? The best of you, the best of your work, the history of your work, right? Are they going to see that? And then are they going to see anything at all? Are you just some name and 10 other people have the same name, and the person who comes up is some woman who lives in Australia, or some woman that's in Kansas City or Nebraska who has a name like yours? Is it authentic work that reflects you? And the power in that is that, hey, Deanna, the power in that is when someone Googles you, right? When someone Googles you and they can find you and the content is yours and your receipts are there, you can have been doing work for decades. And when someone looks for you, when someone looks for you, right? They want to see the impact that you've had. Back in the day, they called it a portfolio. They say, "Send me your portfolios." Hey, Leah. Hey, they want to see your portfolio. They want to see the work that you've done. I remember years ago when I was working at a radio station, I wore like 15 hats. So I was the newsletter writer and editor. I was the PR coordinator. I was the midday show producer, right? And I was also moonlighting as a PR consultant. And so as I'm moonlighting as a PR consultant, people want to know, well, what can you do? I also had started to do managing websites for people. This was way back in the day. So I was like a content manager for websites. And when they would ask me to send my things in, what I would do is I would scan. I would scan my work and then fax it over to them. Yes, I did say fax. Yes, I did say scan. I had to do that old school stuff to get it to them. So then when they finally would get my things, then they could see, what my work was like. They had a record of my work. Well, obviously nobody is scanning anything these days. Faxing. Come on, y'all. Who's faxing, right? Nobody's faxing, nobody's scanning. So your work needs to be simple. Your work needs to be right at somebody's fingertips. You understand? When somebody looks for you, they not waiting on you to fax anything. And let me say this too, in love and true grace. I am not trying to step on anybody's toes tonight. I'm not trying to make anybody feel any way but motivated and inspired to move to a higher ground. I am not saying this when they say, "Ooh, you stepped on my toes." I'm not trying to step on your toes. I'm trying to grab your hand, offer my hand to you, place your hand in mine so that we can get you where you need to be, so that you can be in this world illustrating and demonstrating your impact, illustrating and demonstrating your credibility, and at the end of the day, attracting opportunities that get you paid, attracting opportunities that get you on somebody's stage. Okay? So when you are Googleable, you have to be producing some content that is your content, that you own, that you can guide somebody to and direct somebody to, that you can send somebody, and when they Google you and it all comes up. I want you to Google Monique, my coach, Monique Carradine, Caradine Kitchens, and watch all of that fantastic stuff that comes up. You can even Google my name if you like. Um, and look at all of the stuff that comes up. And if you Googled yourself tonight, I want you to tell me, if you'll be so bold. Look, her name comes up. Listen, it's the LinkedIn, her LinkedIn account, it's her book, it's her Instagram account, it's her podcast that she is doing, it's her own website. Listen, pictures are hers, the interviews, but the top thing is hers, her YouTube channel, all of this stuff. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Good. So Jamila, I want you to think about, I love that it says, I love that it's your LinkedIn. That's perfect. And I love that it's your organization and articles. That's that is really good. That's what you want to have. But what I will also invite you to further think about is a space that's yours to carve out for the work that you do, as a thought leader in terms of the work you're doing now, strategists, right? That work. If people wanted to, would people know that you offer services as a organizational or leadership strategist? Would they get that from the things that are coming up, right? Who else is offering what comes up for them? If you tell me, I'll help you kind of think of some other things that you can do. Right. I talked to Alicia. She's on here, a very good friend of mine. So Alicia is going to start doing her Honest Hostess. Alicia is phenomenally gifted with just creating and curating experiences for people in their homes, intimate settings, or even events, right? You call them events, but when Alicia August does hers, they are events, and they're phenomenal, and they're intimate, and they're themed, right? They're thematic, they're customized. She could turn a simple dinner into an extravagant experience. She could turn somebody's celebration into winter wonderland, whatever the theme is, right? And she could just teach you just making chili and putting it on a platter. It completely changes everything. Like her red beans and rice is not just serving red beans and rice. She's got a whole Mardi Gras theme just to serve her family red beans and rice, right, Alicia? So what should Alicia do? What should Alicia do? Alicia should create these tidbits, right? These curated videos to show people and give people tips and ideas, whether they're videos or just a day in the life that she can have, or even some kind of hosting party that she's hosted, and to show how she puts those things together. Then somebody will say, oh my gosh, I want that effect. I know I can never do it. I'm going to have to fly you out to California for my upcoming whatever event this is. I need your special touch. Alicia, I have to have the events by August rocking my event. I'm going to fly you out. I'm having my destination wedding, and I know the only person, based off of what I've seen of your content online, I know you are the person that needs to be flown out to actually put the magic touch on my events, right? I don't know if Deanna is willing for me to share. Can I share, Deanna, about our clubhouse? Tell me yes or no. Stop playing. We are not team too much. We are team extra. And let us clarify what that means about too much and extra. When you're too much for people, they can't handle it. Too much, no, that's too much ice in my pot, right? No, that's too much wine for me. I'm cutting back. No, that has too much sugar. I don't really like that. But people always want extra sauce. People always want If you giving somebody extra, oh, you're going to put a little extra caramel in that cheesy caramel mix. Thank you. People always want extra. So we're team extra over team too much. We're never too much. We're extra because people want more. So we're giving people more. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'll just say, when you're online, it should show every possible thing that lets people know who you are and what they can hire you for. You want people to see the impact you'll have. You want to give them credibility, right? To show your credibility. And you want to be able to, whatever they see, that they will extend a paid opportunity to you. That they can say, oh, I saw you speaking. I definitely want you on my panel. And it is paid. Like we're not trying to just say, oh, we just coming out. Everybody just want us to speak. No, I mean, that's fine too. That's fine too. But we want to be able to have people to find us no matter what. Someone said to me, I said, oh, yes, India, she's creating her YouTube. That's my mentee. We talked about that in storytelling today. I love that. I'm excited for you. Thank you. And she said, it's weird because I don't want people to see something like that about me. So here's, she said what she saw, what she has on there is old and terrible, and she don't want people to see her like that because she's grown up and she's changed and really has matured and has something more to offer right now. And so here's another thing that I would say to you, right? You can always push your content to the front of Google by SEO, right? So making sure that it's optimized so that it does reach the top. Someone said to me the other day, I was somewhere, and this person is a physical fitness instructor. He's young, Gen Z, right? And I was talking about this very same thing, and I was asking, him this question too. And he said, well, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. My stuff all over Instagram. And I said, I didn't say it to him because some people just aren't ready to receive, but I thought, and I'm saying to you, that Instagram is great and Facebook is great. Social media is great. It's not the same as YouTube. It's not the same as your podcast channels. And what I'll tell you about those type of things, social networks, is that more than likely, people already have to know you in order to follow you, right? Unless you just hot and you're coming up in people's Explorer pages, people aren't really just gonna pop on and follow you. They have to be looking for you. They have to say, oh, what's your Instagram account? And then you tell them, and then they follow you. Well, that is not the same as when somebody looks up. I'll use Jamila as a perfect example. Somebody looks up girls serving organizations and girl leadership organization and mentoring organizations in Chicago. Jamila's name is going to come up, right? It's going to show no matter where you are. My name, Lakeisha Gray-Sewell, Girls Like Me Project, is going to show up. Demoiselle to Film, those things, they're going to show up. Nobody has to say, oh, well, look at my Instagram page. They're Googling girl organizations, and that is going to come up. That's what you want. You don't want people to be like, oh, what's your Instagram? No, they don't even know you. You want people who don't even know you, who have to discover you simply by using Google. They are someone who is doing a conference on your subject matter, and they're hosting this conference and they're looking for speakers. And when they look for speakers or they look for facilitators on a subject matter expert and they look up this subject matter, your name should pop up. Your name should be at the top of the list. And that is not going to be through Instagram or Facebook. Because the other thing about it is those are also your personal spaces. Yeah, you do talk about your work, right? But you also talk about your dog, you talk about, your spouse, you talk about your dad, your mom, you talk about your bird, you talk about your last fishing trip, right? You talk about your ski trip, all of this other stuff that you may or may not want someone who is professionally looking for you to actually find. Now, I'm not saying you're hiding from them, but when you want them to see you, you want your content to come up. And so I really want us to be intentional with the digital legacy that we're creating, be intentional with what we're producing and placing on the internet, so that digitally we have this footprint that we are curating, that we are leading people to. LinkedIn is superb. I think that's one of the best ways, right? Your LinkedIn, because it has all of your resume, it has everything, right? It allows you to but even your LinkedIn, right? When they get to your LinkedIn, what are they seeing? Because they should be seeing your content. Yet again, they should be seeing a link to your website. They should be seeing a link to that article you wrote or that blog you wrote. They should see, right, that link to your website that gives all of your background and your bio. They should see all of the things that leads back to what you have created, the content you've created, right? So anybody want to share, and we can actually, if you want to, I'll help. I'll do someone now. If you want, we can do some kind of real quick spotlight coaching. I love my mentee India. She says she's doing her YouTube tomorrow. That's right. Because we talked about that. You got homework anyway. I feel like you should have maybe two accounts, one that's professional. Yes, I do that. India. I have a professional Instagram and one that is not. And I also have a professional Facebook. But here's the thing. Even when you do that, people, unless you are hiding, changing your name, like some people have done, people will still find you there, and that's fine. That's fine for them to find you. I don't think anybody is ever putting anything out that it would be so egregious that if somebody did find them, that it would, if they're being true to who they are, that they would just be turned off by it. You shouldn't be putting anything on I don't care if it's public or private, for friends or professional. You shouldn't put anything out that you wouldn't want someone to see. So that's that. You definitely want to make sure that whatever you're putting out, you can stand in it. It's true to who you are. You can stand up in it. You can be proud of it, and it reflects really who you are. You don't want to put anything up there that somebody finds and then you take it down, or you're scared that they're going to find it, or your school or your college or a club or something, and they're going to have to be like, well, we can't hire you, or we can't. Some people will do that based off of their own personal whatever beliefs, but as long as it's not something that you're being mean about, it's fine. Yeah, I love that. India says the personal one should be where people have to request to follow you. They can't just follow. They can't just get on your page and see you. That is smart, and I love it. Yes. What else? So I told y'all we were not gonna stay on here long. I meant that. Simeon, I'm so glad to see you joining in. Jada, hello. Shamila, yes, I love LinkedIn as well. Like I said, LinkedIn is a place you can put all of your content, right? You can put your link to your podcast. You can put the link to your YouTube channel. You can put the link to your business or your organization. You can put previous work that you've published. And this, I really want us to think about this. I talked a little bit about this last night, but I really want you to show this video to some of our baby boomer friends, family, loved ones, and mentors. And I say this because I have some baby boomer and maybe slightly older than baby boomer who are very near and dear to my heart. And there have been times when there has been they're speaking for something, Or I'll have a client who has an audience who is speaking, and that roster of speakers, I go to find them. Now these people have written books, okay? They are not to be played with. They have PhDs and ABCs all behind their name. They've worked with some of the most famous people. They are the famous person's famous person, right? They're the back person behind the famous person that you would never know about. They're that person's wings, right? They've worked for institutions. They've done major things, but you can't find them for anything when you start to Google them, because you want to make a flyer and you're trying to find their picture on the internet so you can put it on the flyer. Can't find it. Can't find a single picture. You are trying to get a bio, just a little bio write up. Can't find it. Or this website that they're a part of, it's got Flash and it ain't coming up. It's not showing up. You can't get on the site. So I want us to help our elders and help our people and let them know, like, it's time to, that book you wrote, decades ago, that people are still citing, that is still relevant, that is still good. I need them to come online and create that YouTube channel that rehashes that information in a digital platform. I need them to have guests on a podcast and talk about that subject matter and talk and give those stories and give those accounts, because we cannot afford to have them languish away and be invisible in these internet streets and we can't see or find them. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Do y'all see the elders who have books and who have been teaching and are still relevant? Did Cicely Tyson just disappear at 96 years old? No. Cicely Tyson wrote her book, her memoir came out at 96. Cicely Tyson's memoir came out at the age of 96. All of the work that she had done, she culminated that with a memoir. So yes, you may be retired, or yes, you may have done those things years ago. You're still relevant and people still need to find you. I'm going to give you all a name right now. She is one of my sheroes, and it's funny because I actually met her on Facebook through another mutual friend. And oh Lord, and she will actually kill me if I cannot. She'd kill me if she knew I was having a hard time finding her name. I don't know why she's not on here, but when I say her name, she used to be a professor of sociology, and she's a professor of sociology. She started in Chicago. I don't like that I can't find it. But let's just say this. She is phenomenal. She's still doing blogs. She is one of those elders who is still using digital. She is keeping up with the times in digital world. She started a vitamin D blog because of her health journey. She started talking about vitamin D and doing podcasts and blogs about it. You can find her anywhere. That's what all our elders need to do. As I was saying yesterday, there were elders who were a part of the movement work, and they were around to see some of the things that we are seeing now, they saw before. So they can actually tell us and share stories now. But if we're not in their home or we're not in their office sitting at their feet, then we don't get the benefit of that wisdom and that knowledge. But what if we didn't have to be at their feet or sitting in front of them? Right? What if we didn't have to go and sit at the beauty parlor? Because when I was younger, that's how we got our knowledge. Like the older women were at the beauty parlor. When we got there, we sit around and we're waiting. for your turn. Back then it was a long day at the beauty salon, and you sit there and you hear all this wisdom coming, right, from women. And I'm sure men the same way. You're sitting in a barbershop and you're getting schooled by this elder, or you're in somebody's class, right, or they're at your Sunday school. But right now we don't, that's not the world we live in anymore. And so we don't have those times where we have to sit at the feet of anybody, or sit in the space and be able to just soak up that wisdom, unless they're related to us or we have a connection to them. And so let's remove that barrier. Let's remove that barrier by getting onto digital platforms. Everybody agree? All right, that's my invitation to you all. And I would love to help you create some content, or help you to understand which platforms are the best for you, or what you can do to really become not just Googleable, but where you can actually prove your impact, prove your credibility, and attract some paid engagements, some paid consultations, some paid speaking, some paid teaching opportunities. I would love to help you do that. I'm going to invite you to visit shadowintoshine.com, shadowintoshine.com. And when you do that, you spend the whole day with me. We will figure out what platform is the best for you, what your digital superpower is. We will also help you get some content on there. What 30 days worth we're going to schedule out for you, so that you're posting in your sleep and it's posting, right? You don't have to scramble and think about, what should I post? How do I post this thing? No, you don't have to have that trouble to do that. We're going to talk about your core message. I talked to you yesterday about my cousin who sells sea moss. And, people are right now, with our focus on our immune system and our health, a lot of people are getting sea moss from different places. But her sea moss is not just from any place. And the reason she's doing it is not just for any reason. She actually was in the Navy and was stationed in Hawaii and lived there, and some other places where, natural health remedies were the norm. And she learned those practices and took those practices with her. And that is how she's been on her health journey. And that's how long she's been doing sea moss, and where to get it from. Everybody is just getting all kinds of sea moss. Are they getting organic sea moss? Are they getting sea moss that's really full of the fortifying nutrients? This is important, right? So her story is different than somebody else's story. Her story of learning to live by the land, and have been on this vegan and pescatarian lifestyle for more than 20 years and traveling the world and seeing these different practices. That's a different thing that goes into that, right? Not to say that her sea moss is whatever, but the thing that goes into that, the knowledge that goes into that, right? A veteran who's now doing that. That's a different message than somebody else who just decided, hey, I got sick and I decided to use this and it worked for me, so I want to try with everybody else. Neither of them are better or worse, but they are both their own unique story, right? Everybody has a unique story of how they come into something. I think about people who do hair. My pastor spoke, well, not my pastor, Pastor Emeritus, Jeremiah Wright, talked about his aunt who lived in Virginia or in Philadelphia, and who he visited, and she was she did hair for a living. As long as he knew her, she was like the most popular hairstylist in that area in Philadelphia. Well, come to find out, he didn't know that she graduated with a sociology degree. And she became a hairstylist because, as a Black woman at that time, she could not be hired as a sociologist or a social worker. But how many of you know that a hairstylist is definitely a social worker? How many of you know that a hairstylist, when you go and sit in their chair, you're telling them, they're getting to know about you, your lifestyle, they know about your children, your family, and then let a woman come into a beauty salon or a beauty parlor, right? At that time, let her come in and have some needs. I bet you that hairstylist is going to talk to her network of people and connect that woman to whatever resources she needs. So isn't that a social worker? And what if that story were online in a digital space? What if that story were something you could listen to and get and gain the wisdom of what it must have been like for her to have to work outside of the field she earned her degree in and still found a way to be fulfilled with her gift? How powerful is that? Isn't that a story you would want to Google and find as we talk about Black History Month? All of the things we're finding out because what? You ain't been to the library. Tell the truth. And even when libraries were open, most people didn't go. Most people are Googling for information, and your name should be at the top. Whatever you have produced, whatever knowledge base you have, whatever your expertise is, people should be able to see it and glean from you. They should be able to learn from you because you have so much to offer. Yes, I love them too. And that's why I love people being in a room and using digital spaces to convey their messages, to preserve their message, to preserve their digital legacy. I'm going to tell you one last thing about digital legacy because I told y'all this won't be long. The last thing I want to tell you about digital legacy is this. You know, everybody's talking this thing about generational wealth and wealth building and investing and stocks and all this other stuff. And they're also talking about breaking generational curses and generational trains and all these other things, right? What if the things that we're producing right now, if they are in the archives, the digital archives in the Library of Congress, so that I don't know if it'll be Google, but 30 years from now, your grandchildren and great-grandchildren will be looking for some information, and they will find that information of the things that you've created and produced and the content, especially the impact that you've had in your field of expertise. What if they could find you and say, wow, I'll use my own story. My great-grandfather was a part of the slum ordinance in Chicago where he was pushing back and organizing against them tearing down the homes where Prairie Shores and Lake Meadows now sits. And he was active in that. And my great-grandfather was the first carpenter hired by the Board of Education in Chicago to earn a pension. Like, to be able to, if I were to be able to have that online and find that online digitally, how powerful would that be? Sometimes we are part of history that we don't even know we have in our lineage. And so why keep that secret and that mystery from your own future generations when you have the platform and you have the capacity right now to store, to preserve the work that you're doing? You may say, oh, people just online talking, people just doing stuff online. No, people are capturing and documenting what their knowledge base is. And it's better when you have your own platform. It's better when it's yours, when it's your podcast. It's better when it's your YouTube channel. It's better when it's your TV webisode, webinar. It's better when it's your e-course. It's better when it's yours and you digitized it. I think you deserve that. I think your future generations deserve that. There's so many stories that we all have in our expertise as well. And so I don't care how young you are. I have mentees on here. I have a couple of mentees watching. I don't care how young you are. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your voice deserves to impact somebody because you can change someone's life. Your story of the things that you've overcome and the ways that you've overcome them is important. And there's somebody coming behind you. I don't care if you're 16, there's an 11-year-old coming behind you. I don't care if you're 11, there's a 9-year-old coming behind you. I don't care if you're 70, there's a 30. 40, 50, 60-year-old coming behind you. And their road could be a lot smoother, a lot easier hearing from you. So I'm going to invite you again, shadowintoshine.com. Step over, check it out, think about and consider taking action to spend a day with me so we can get you up and going in your digital superpower and your digital legacy. My chili is on the stove and almost ready, so I am going to bid you all a farewell. If you have comments, I will try to read through them really quickly. India, let me tell you about libraries and me. I love the library. I stay in the library. If it weren't for COVID, I love library. My library card keeps a workout. And when I was your age, India, the library was where I went all the time because I didn't want to deal with foolishness and people who were trying to who were toxic and full of drama. So I hid out in the lunchroom, especially when I didn't have money to eat lunch and I didn't want to look poor, even though I was. I didn't want to look it. So I hid in the library, and that's how I became so knowledgeable about so much, because I did so much reading. I did so much reading in the library. So yes to libraries and books, India. All right, y'all. I will talk to everybody tomorrow, same time. Well, actually, it'll be earlier tomorrow. Tonight, I was just exhausted. I am exhausted. I want to eat, and I just want to go and go down in the basement with my husband and just chill. I'm exhausted. So tomorrow, loves. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Waiting for Facebook to end, and I'm going to come over and end it with you guys here on Instagram. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, this thing is taking too long. It still don't want to end. Let's see. This is awkward. If we were like in a Broadway show, the curtains would just close on me. It seems not connecting, so that their forces is not connecting. It's not letting me get off. Let's see. It's really weird. Oh boy. It's just cycling and spinning. Asking me if I'm sure that I want to end this broadcast. Let's try it again. I think the only way is just to end it, right? It's not letting me. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to take this thing off of here. And we're just going to close out. Hope that works. All right, y'all. Bye-bye. This is the weirdest thing, y'all. I don't know what in the world. Let's try this one more time.